What do you think of Sony banning users who exploited a PS collection loophole?
Oh, yes.
Okay, I'll explain to you guys in a bit. Since you need to be a real PlayStation Plus subscriber in order to have the PS collection, wouldn't it be counterproductive if those bans exceeded a certain amount of subscribers? All right, so this is what happened, right? This is going on for we even answered a question about this like a couple weeks ago. So basically, some like PlayStation users, they found there was like a loophole where they could actually sell or something along those lines. Like
sign into another account.
Yeah, Adam, you explain it. I think you know it better than I do. Go ahead.
Sign into another account, and then it gives you that PlayStation Plus. And even when you sign out, it for some reason stays attached to that PlayStation. So those games are still unlocked. The Plus, which is all those God of War and Until Dawn and the Last of Us remake. It's that long list of games. For some reason, there's a glitch that lets that stay on the system. So it's like the system just recognizes it regardless of the profile once it's initially activated on that system. So people were going on eBay and charging like $5 or whatever. It's like, hey, let me log into your PlayStation. I'll activate this and then change it and let you log back in. But that way you have it. And that's what they were doing. So then Sony just went and started banning all the people that bought that shit and then all the people that were sharing it because they can do the trail and see who links where because of obviously you're logging in with your account. So a lot of people were getting banned, but it didn't happen that long. It was only like a day or two, and they caught up on it. But yeah, it was a weird glitch. Never seen anything like that.
Yeah, because these guys were like selling, like what was it? They were selling accounts or some shit like that.
They were selling logins. Yeah, they would just, but it was just, it wasn't so much keeping in. It's just you just had to log in with your account. If you went to someone else's house, you signed into it, right? You downloaded that, you verified that you had the Plus, you did the whole activation, then you signed out. But there was another profile there. That other profile now has access to the PlayStation Plus of all that stuff. That was going on. So these people were saying, hey, let me get access to your account and your PlayStation. You pay me $10, whatever, through PayPal, and then I'll just create this profile so that way I log in, and then you can get all these games. And that's what people were doing because it was a glitch. You didn't have to be under your account. It was just carrying over.
Yeah, this is the thing that Juan was asking me a couple weeks ago when this was going on. I told him, stay the fuck away. Don't do it. Don't do it. And now the guys who are participating in it are getting banned. So yeah, the question is it okay for Sony to do that? Yeah, perfectly within their rights to do that shit.
This is how you make a stance. If they just did nothing, then it was like, oh well, whatever. But now when they hear this, if another exploit comes up, people think twice about doing it.
Yeah. So that's good. Yeah, ban those guys. Fuck that. I think they're locking consoles like the PlayStation 5. You can't access it. PlayStation 4 would get locked away for a couple months or some shit like that. So yeah, they got serious about it. So there you go, Chris. What's your take on that, man? Because I think you and I talked about it for a little bit. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I think you absolutely have to take that kind of punitive measure if people are doing that. Otherwise, people will exploit that shit to the nth degree. Imagine like 2 days in or 3 days in, how many people would be just signing up to PS Plus and then kind of selling out their accounts multiple times to people to flip a profit. Like that's insane. So not only does Sony lose out on that residual income, but if they don't track it, then they'll lose track of people who now have access to PS Plus that shouldn't have it, and they will start taking advantage of the monthly free games and the sales and all that stuff. So you lose potentially millions of dollars in residual income. So you have to stop that shit. And I think they took the right action to stop it so that people go, oh, okay, they're serious. So I'm not even going to try it. And the guys that did it, well, it's like should have known better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and just to be clear, they're not banning. No, just real quick, they're not banning the people who did it. I think it's just the guys who sold it, right?
They're banning the people that sold it and the people that.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh well, everybody gets it then.
Everybody gets it.
Oh well,
because they can track it.
Should have known better. Should have known better.
Your account, so they're tracking it.
Yeah.
They can see it. If you have multiple accounts. If you're on my inbox and Manny's and Chris's, you're getting it, and we're all getting it.
Yeah. Go ahead, Manny.
See, Joey. That's why we say stay away from that shit.
Yeah, Juan. Stay away from that shit, bro.
Random messages from people on sending you text messages on your PlayStation. Hey, you could win this or not. Don't believe that shit.
I got 2 of those messages. Right, motherfuckers had no trophies, blocked and reported both of them. Fuck that shit. Brian, what were you gonna say, bro?
I was wondering, okay, let's say that you're the person that does not have a PS5 and you want these games. Do you have to have PSN Plus prior to getting it activated, or could you do it without having PSN Plus?
It's a good question. I honestly don't know.
remember that. I don't know.
I honestly don't know.
Because
I
my
just-
thing is, if you're already paying for PSN Plus and then you simply do this glitch, then to me that's Sony's fault, and Sony should not ban you, because at the same time you are paying for the subscription, and that subscription gets you access to those games. So it's a bit weird how you have person A on a PS4 who has the sub, and person B on a PS5 who has the same sub, but yet one of them has access to PS4 games that the other one does not have access to.
Yeah,
I find that to be really bullshit.
I think it's that if you don't have PS Plus, then you have it. You have all access.
Apparently,
to the
they
games
said you
because
do
there was
need
a
PS
promo.
Plus for this.
Okay, yeah, that's
But then you already
that's
have
bullshit.
it. I don't. Yeah.
Because then you're paying for a service, and then Sony's not giving you access to games that you can play on your platform as it is. So I think that's a bunch of bullshit.
But if you're doing this workaround to get games you shouldn't be getting, you know what I'm saying?
But then it's games that are accessible through the subscription that you already pay for.
Are those games streaming?
I don't know.
Because when I looked at my section,
they're the
don't think so.
PlayStation version, the PlayStation 4 versions of those games.
because it says on mine when I look through those lists, everything's installed, and I know I don't have all those games. And it's like, oh, installed. That's what it says on mine. So I'm like, what do you mean installed? I haven't played
It probably installs a portion of it. Once you click it, it'll probably do it
Never
all.
clicked it.
You know, do it all.
In fact, I'll try it right now.
Yeah.
Let me try it right now.
Yeah, and it's
Go ahead.
PlayStation
Click on one
4.
of those-
This is for PlayStation 4 owners. That's what I'm seeing in the chat
No.
here.
It's not. They're PlayStation 4 games on your 5,
Yeah, got you.
but it's only available to people who have a 5. So the workaround here allows a PlayStation 4 person to probably
Yeah, the PlayStation 4 person gets to play all these games.
But
plus
wait,
everything.
you know what's interesting about it? Like when I went to the PS Plus collection on mine, I had most of those games purchased because they came at one time or another for free
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
monthly thing. So,
Oh, yeah.
with the exception of like 3, I had all of them. It said, "Oh, you purchased all these," except for like 3 games which I didn't care about.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everyone had the opportunity to get this. Like, I can understand if I just got PS Plus like 5 months ago with a Pro, and I can understand like, okay, that guy wouldn't have the opportunity to do it. You get in a sale, but I mean, this is one of the things that Sony was trying to do to incentivize 5 owners, and I mean, even though I can see Brian's point, it's like, but these are PS4 games, so why can't PS4 people access it? But if you're just collecting as an incentive for 5 users, then I can see why they're being so aggressive with stopping it. Now, you could say maybe it's overboard. I would say the guys who are selling it should stop. Like, you should stop those guys. You shouldn't a broad brush like ban the buyers. Maybe pull the games back if you want. But I think banning them is maybe excessive for the buyers.
Yeah, ban the guys that are doing it though, you know.
I know on the Microsoft end, what they would do is they would ban the boxes themselves because of certain things that I did in the past. They didn't close my entire account; they just banned my console, so I would need another.
Yeah, they're doing that too. They're banning your console.
Yeah, so the console could never go online.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That is an extreme measure.
See,
I didn't realize they were just
that's
like,
why
blocking your consoles.
That's why
Go
I
ahead.
think that it's just like really weird. It's like it's a thing that, because again, my understanding when they first talked about it was like, okay, so this bunch of games is available to everyone who has a PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5 because it's part of PSN Plus.
Only
Fine,
5.
that makes sense. And then I found out that it is only on 5. So I'm like, okay, like I can understand the idea of it. It's like, okay, you can get people that have a 5 to play these older games. That's fine. But at the same time, there's not enough PS5s in the wild anyway. So hence, what's the point? You're essentially just saying like, hey, this is thing that's only available to like these like 0.0005% of people because they were able to get a PS5 in time. You guys, you plebs with the PS4, you get nothing. even though that you
And
pay
it's
the
only
same
for a
sub,
limited time.
the same sub as these guys do. So it's like, why is it that PS4 people are again screwed over for this? It just makes no sense to me.
Because
then-
Sony's a dick.
Wait,
And
how are they
then-
getting screwed over? I'm confused.
They
This,
don't
is,
get
this is
access
for
to these
PS5.
games.
This is for PS5 people.
Yeah, here's the thing, Tony. It's for a limited time.
Okay.
The PlayStation is hard to get, and they're going to have limited supplies. So if you were one of the unlucky people that wasn't able to secure your PlayStation 5, by the time you actually get it in the spring or whenever, this promotion will be over.
I don't even see
Okay,
it now.
that's too bad, isn't it?
I
It
don't
is
even
too
see
bad,
it
but it's
now.
again, it's Sony's fucking fault. Like, oh, and see the thing, this was all fucking orchestrated. That's the thing. Sony wanted to go out on stage and they're like, look, as a good grace to gamers, we're gonna do this. And then they're like, oh yeah, I mean it's only for PlayStation 5 users, and you have to be part of PS Plus, and yeah. So like the exclusions, blackout dates, things like that. It was just for the big moment of acting like, like, oh, you get this big amount of games because everybody says that. Even people who don't have PlayStation are like, oh, when you buy the PlayStation, you get like 12 games free. No, you don't. Nobody said that. And it really depends on when you buy it.
Okay.
It's saying that they're going to do a lot and then doing the bare minimum to fulfill what they were doing. And then when people were trying to find a workaround, like, that's an extreme banning number one, or an extreme measure number one. But why the fuck weren't PlayStation, like, I agree with Brian, like, PlayStation 4 users should have been included in this from the get-go. But again, Sony's not trying to do that. They're not trying to be good to their customers. And that's the thing that's pissing me off. It's been pissing me off, man.
Yeah.
This
By the
is
way,
just another
Yeah, but
by the way, just real quick, I love whenever Brett goes on these rants because the chat lights up like, oh, here we go again. Brett's hating on Sony.
I don't get why that is being considered a dick.
I don't understand it either, to be honest. I'm like, hey,
Well,
listen, if you got a PS5, you get these games.
were-
If you don't have a PS4, then you don't get them. It's simple as that, you know?
Here's the thing. You guys are nihilists when it comes to business. You think that everything comes down to just bottom dollar, who's making the most money, cutthroat savagery, 80s business. Not everything is fucking run like that. Okay? That is considered aggressive and cutthroat, which are
No,
not
it isn't.
good.
It's not
I don't understand
aggressive.
what's aggressive cutthroat about this. I really don't.
Number one, it's an incentive.
Okay.
It's more of an incentive than being cutthroat. If it was
Yes,
cut,
An incentive to buy something that you can't get.
Yeah, you guys are. sound like
That's
this
a big
is
problem.
what do you mean buying something that you can't get?
You can't
Number
get a
one, you
PS5.
That's not Sony's fault, though. Come on.
The
It
thing
is
is,
Sony's fault.
can't-
It is
So
the
making
thing
Sony
is,
should
like,
just magically
no,
have 20 million consoles available to everybody.
Number one,
Okay, but Sony's
well, a lot of these games are already available on PlayStation Plus. So when you say they're a dick for locking down that they were on PlayStation Plus previously on PlayStation 4?
No, me and Brian have been very
The same-
clear
at
as
the
to
same-
why
at
they're
the-
a dick.
Hold on, Manny. Let Brett explain. Go ahead, Brett.
The promotion that they're promising you is designed so that you can't claim it. That 90% of PlayStation users who buy a PS5 aren't going to be able to partake in this. And it was designed that way by having the 3-month fucking limit on it.
They have a
if you
3-month
get-
Wait, hold on, because I'm not understanding
I've
any of
never
this.
heard this
Hold on.
before.
So you're telling me
This is
they're
not a permanent
blocking
deal.
90% of the people who buy a PS5 from this? How?
I don't
Because
see
how
a-
many of the total PS5s that are going to be in the wild
No,
do you
Brett.
think there are right now?
If you own a PS5, you're locked out of this. If you have a physical
No,
PS5
if you are
in your house,
trying to get one,
yeah, that's not Sony's fault though.
how is that? Whose fault is it then?
Nobody's fault. It can't be helped. You can't produce enough
so
systems at launch, bro.
Should Sony be accommodating it then? Since they can't get enough PlayStations out of the wild, I don't know. Make this deal a forever thing, so anybody who gets a PlayStation
You can't do forever. How about this? Let's meet halfway. Extend it to 6 months. There you go.
Hold on, let me
Because
see.
the whole point of
It
this is to get people to buy PlayStations. Now, granted, you can't get a PlayStation; very difficult. So I'll meet you there. Let's give them 6 months, but you have to have a
keep them on shelves.
you have to have a stop time at this because the whole reason you
I
do
get
this,
that.
yeah.
I get that. You like but extend them until you can actually get the supply out there, man.
Yeah, that's
But
that's fair enough. I could do that, but like you can't just be like, oh, we're gonna have this in perpetuity. You can't do that. That's crazy talk.
No,
You know,
but you're acting like this is an accident.
I'm not saying, but you're acting like it's deliberate. I don't think it's deliberate at all. That's crazy. That's conspiracy shit right there. You know.
And also,
official site, there's no expiration date for PlayStation's collection.
None? I swear they said
Okay, well, so we were
I
basing
understand
off an assumption that they were limited. Anyway, Chris, go on, bro.
I'll put it in the article here. It says no expiration.
when they announced it, I swore that they said it was. Go ahead.
I was gonna say this is an old business tactic to when you want to kickstart sales, you'll give an incentive that's either a limited time or a limited amount, right? Like and you know, Manny knows this. Like sometimes it's like the first 100 issues of this book has a special cover, or you know, and if you don't buy it right away, you don't get the cover. You get the B cover, right? You don't get the nice foil, gold, silver, or whatever. This has been done forever, you know. So to say it's not a nihilistic tactic, because if you're going to call that out, then Nintendo is guilty of this in perpetuity.
Mario All Stars, right?
Mario All Stars, all the artificial scarcity, they have done tactics that you wouldn't believe if you go back in history. You know, making Namco take Splatterhouse off the Genesis, like this it's just countless things they've done. Strong arming Toys R Us not to carry certain things, so they're at the front of the line, like this back in the 80s.
I thought we agreed that Nintendo was a dick.
Right, but you can't say, well, so
You keep sucking it though.
shit.
I'm not saying I'm not gonna PlayStation. I'm just gonna be busy about it.
Yeah, it's okay when Nintendo does it, but you know, PlayStation's a big evil overlord now.
No, it's not okay.
They're all evil overlords. That's the problem.
No, Nintendo is the worst. We've all just kind of like that part goes without discussion. If we're just gonna have to say that, like, we're gonna be talking about how awful Nintendo is a fucking lot. They're the worst when it comes to that shit.
Here, I'll post another one. I found 3 different sources. They're all saying there is no expiration.
Right. There's no expiration date, so let's get that clear. You know.
Okay.
As long as you're.
Go ahead. Yeah, Brett. What do you say to that? There's no expiration date.
If there's no expiration date, then I'm mostly cool with that. I still think you should give a chance for PlayStation 4 users, but yeah, if there's no expiration date, that was my big beef. I'm trying to figure out where I read that now.
I would say like,
Probably some Xbox told you.
That shit's going away quick. Gotta go.
It was one of those Twitter assholes, Brett.
People.
Yeah.
I would only say I agree with, like, they needed to stop this from running rampant, right? But they may have gone overboard. I think banning the buyers or their systems is overreach. I think banning the sellers is perfectly legitimate. I think if you sell that shit and you were hoping to make a profit, 20, 30 people flipping, $60 a sign-in or something, that, it's like racketeering right there. So, of course, you have to stop it. But they may have been too harsh, right? I think banning the sellers, I think that was overreach. That's what I'll say.
Buyers.
No, the buyers, yes. Banning
Chris.
banning the sellers.
Hold on.
Yeah.
It's available till January 4th, 2021.
They said there's no expiration date, though. And then when I went into the store and I went into that section, and usually it has a date for all the games, there's no date next to them. But there is for the other sections, but not for the PlayStation collection. Because I have a bunch in there that I saw, and it said, ready to download, install. And usually they have a date. There's no date.
I see January 4th. Let me see if something else corroborates
this one I just sent was from The Verge, trying to explain, because it says there's a lot of misinformation. It says here's everything you need to know about the PlayStation Plus collection on the PS5 and how it works.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Chris, and then we'll move on to the next question.
Right. I think it's as you said. So I agree, but I mean, I can understand Brian's point somewhat, but like they have this launch for both systems. Like at least Sony had a little more stuff, but they needed to sweeten the deal, right? And every company does that when they're launching something. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't have to be an electronic product or anything. They want to sweeten the deal with an incentive. This is an incentive. So I can understand why they were keeping it exclusive to PS5. I can understand with PS4 people who were late to the party, or people who can't get a PS5 now feel slighted. But as Adam said, even if you get your PS5 in the spring, this will be there, so they don't have to worry. So I can understand late adopters who are like, hey, well, I wanted those games. Well, they were available at some point. I somehow had
Oh, yeah,
90% of the collection before I even got the PS5.
Yeah, same here. That's what I saw. You know what? Because I have my 4 terabyte connected, and it said a bunch of them sold. And you're right. That's how I got them. Because I was like, I didn't get it through this collection, but I got it because it was on Plus for a while. Yeah, that's it. Okay,
Yeah,
that explains why I have all these.
So they were there, and I guarantee there'll be the opportunity for PS4 people to get them later. They're just incentivizing now for PS5 people. That's not to say later on they're gonna probably put them open the PS collection to PS4 people once they have a certain adoption rate. They'll be like, okay, just go open it up. Who cares, right? There won't be an incentive anymore because all their Keystone titles for spring and summer next year will have launched. So they'll be relying on exclusives for next gen to push the system forward, and they won't need this. And then they kick it back to PS4. I guarantee that's what's going to happen.
You heard it here first on Throwdown. But you know what? The thing is, all this is going to be moot when the remastering engine shows up, It won't matter anymore.